Hello, this is Jaymie White with Global Diversity News, bringing you another podcast. First off, I want to apologize. I know it's been a while, but I've just been running around a little bit busy. But again, we're back at it, giving you the news that you need to have in your life. With me today, I have Ray Hayes.
Hey everybody! Once again, Jamie, I want to say thank you for having me on. I think this podcast will be beneficial to us being as Global Diversity News, but also to the listeners. I mean, I know Jamie's going to talk about some of the things we're going to discuss today, but I know you all may have questions about why are you all posting articles about diversity around the globe, and the reason is we need this information. This information is not being broadcast on ABC News. It's not being broadcast on CNN. You hardly hear about it unless you're searching these issues. But Jamie, I'm sorry to digress, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I think Global Diversity News is something beneficial to not only the youth but also the people of Generation X, the baby boomers. It's beneficial to everybody. But go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. That's a perfect segue to the conversation that we want to talk about today, which is Global Diversity News. What's its purpose? Why are we again posting articles each day discussing various topics about the world of supplier diversity and small business? And what are our ultimate goals with this? So, just to begin, I started this late last year, so 2015, late 2015,
Right.
Essentially trying to get news out to the public that you really don't hear on a day-to-day basis, right? I think that when it comes to the community, including Hispanic, Black, women, small business, Native American, things like that, Asian, etc. When it comes to news, you only really hear like the social aspects of what's going on. And when it comes to business, you only hear business and sports or business and entertainment, but you don't really get to hear what people are doing in other forms of business, which include the tech sector, which include real estate, finance, architecture, things like that, the sciences, so STEM, and things of that nature, and more, obviously. So that's exactly what Global Diversity News is here for, to bring you the news that, like Ray, you said, they're not promoting on, for public consumption in the, more well-known media outlets, which I think is really unfortunate, because there are a lot of good things and there are a lot of people and businesses being created each and every day that are doing phenomenal things and just aren't being covered because they're not controversial or because they don't have a big name connected to them. There are, and I've actually sent this out and written articles about this, are the biggest women-owned companies and the biggest Black-owned companies. We're talking corporations that are worth billions of dollars that people just don't know because they're not a Dr. Dre or a Jay-Z, or they're not out protesting about which, obviously those are great things, or not great things, it's a terrible situation, but those are things that, need to be happening because, people are frustrated. But again, there are also other things that are happening with minority and women-owned businesses that definitely need to be told just from a general perspective.
And real quick, Jam, I wanted to say this.
Yep.
I remember it was probably a year ago. You came to me. We was on the phone. We were talking about something. I think you were telling me about some things about your business and things and stuff like that. What's going on in Detroit about the economy and the politics and stuff like that.
Right.
Then you start talking about supplier diversity, something I never heard of until you introduced it to me. Mm-hmm. and a lot of people don't know about supplier diversity. But one thing that intrigued me most is what you told me. You said that you gave me an example. So I remember you said that, say for instance, Ford.
Right.
Ford needs new tires, but these tires they need a steering wheel.
Right.
A steering wheel. Let's say a steering wheel. It sounds better. They need a steering wheel, but they need a steering wheel made by a company, not just any kind of company. They need a minority-owned company.
So the breakdown of supplier diversity, kind of how it works. Yeah, so with supplier diversity, it's actually been around for decades, and like you said, when I was in college, I had never heard of supplier diversity either.
Nobody did. I mean, a lot of us didn't. People to this day hardly know what supplier diversity is.
Right. So supplier diversity essentially is, it's, I don't want to say an organization, but the concept is getting underrepresented people's opportunities to do businesses with large corporations. And the key here is opportunities, right? People like to say that there's what's it called when people like make you hire? They're filling a quota. There it is. It's a quota.
You saying they're filling a quota?
Yeah.
And they're bringing people, like say for instance, they had to hire a certain amount of Hispanics or Asians.
Exactly. Some people think that it's a quota system, but that couldn't be anything further from the truth. Because it's absolutely not a quota system. The purpose of it is, again, just to give people opportunities and to push these corporations to look at companies that they wouldn't normally look at, right? Or they couldn't normally find.
Right.
I like to take the race or what have you, or the gender or the sex part. And when I say sex, I mean gender part out of it. And I just tell people, think about a small business located in, Mocono, Michigan. Right? I just made that city up just for example purposes. But how are you going to find that company? Right? Okay. It's going to be very difficult to find that company located in an area that you don't normally do business with, and you don't normally operate in, and you don't normally essentially go to. So that's why they have groups to reach out to these different subgroups, such as like African American, Hispanic. Again, small business is also included. LGBT, disabled. The list goes on and on. And you have these groups. And you have these organizations within Ford that sole purpose is to reach out to these groups so they can give an opportunity to them. Now, they have internal goals, which I think is absolutely smart and reasonable. And again, these aren't quotas. They're just goals. And with essentially a company like a Ford or, a Walmart or, a AT&T or, these other big businesses, with their purposes, they'll say, okay, we want at least, 10 to 15%. So we have something to strive for. So we're not just doing this just to do it. We're doing this so we can increase the wealth of our consumers, of our potential consumers in those subgroups, as well as give people opportunities that they wouldn't normally have. So when you see that, again, that like 10 to 15%, that's essentially what they're saying. So that's why when a Ford, for example, looks to, buy tires from a company, they'll also try to not only, gain the 10%, 15% or whatever number they've given themselves, but they'll also say to their tier ones or people who they may give like, $1 million contract to develop tires for their, Ford Focus. They'll say, hey, we've got our own goals that we're trying to do for supplier diversity, but we would also like, since we're purchasing from you, we've given you this $1 million contract, can you also go out and spend money on these subgroups that we're looking to reach out to and give them opportunities as well?
I did want to say that I didn't hear you mention it, Jamie, but I did want to throw out the fact that one of those organizations who go about helping those minorities or customers find these minority-owned businesses is the National Minority Supplier Diversity Council. Development Council. And also, if you all are interested in learning more about the organization NMSDC, Jaymie actually did an interview with the president of NMSDC recently. Her name is Josette Wright Lacey. If you go to our YouTube page, you can find that interview with her to gain more information about it as well too. Our YouTube page, you can subscribe to it as well, because Jaymie, he's dedicated to this cause. He's the dreamer of this idea. So he's putting the groundwork in. He's interviewing a variety of different organizations who are willing to showcase their diversity, but also talk about how we can put diversity on the forefront, how we can build a better America, or a better world in general. But Jaymie, I'm sorry to interrupt about that. I wanted to throw that out there, that you are the dreamer of this idea, and the fact that the groundwork is being set as we speak.
Yeah, that's fine. I've done interviews with a couple other ones, like the National Veteran Business Development Council, as well as I'm trying to get one with, or I have an upcoming one with the Canadian Aboriginal Supplier Development Council as well. So yeah, we're definitely interviewing these organizations whose sole purpose is to advocate for, again, like veterans, minorities, as well as, again, Canadian Aboriginal and minority as well. We'd also like to reach out to, the We Bank one, so essentially the women organization, We Connect, which is another women organization, and obviously like other groups such as the LGBT and things of that nature. That's definitely something that we're always striving to have, so that they can get their message out and that people can know and understand that, there are opportunities available to them, because a lot of people want to give the whole argument that the whole supplier diversity field or industry, if you will, isn't necessary because everything's even or everything's fair, or it doesn't make it fair. But the fact of the matter is, it's definitely necessary, at least for today, because statistically, these subgroups just don't have those opportunities that large businesses do. So I definitely think that this is a great opportunity for those small organizations, or for minorities, women, veterans, etc. And again, I just want to stress the whole. This is the opportunity to do businesses with these organizations. Like, there is no guarantee, there is no quota,
right,
that these businesses have. They have a goal that they're trying to meet, and which all companies should. If you're doing anything within your organization that you think could help you in the next 5 to 10 years, you should have a goal for it, and that's what these large businesses are doing. So. But yeah. But there's also other things that we're trying to do with Global Diversity News as well. And I just want to definitely stress other industries that you see, women, people of color, veterans, etc., small businesses as well that are interacting in, and that you just don't see. And it's amazing how much you don't see things like STEM, or things like, well, particularly STEM as in like the engineering portion, or like the mathematics portion, or even the science portion. Like,
right.
You would think that you would see more news about, I don't know, female doctors, or something like that.
Even the news about the how Marvel is changing with the times.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, with Marvel being real big in the movie theaters now, with the release of the Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, it's not coming on the news, or we're not being told about the recent changes Marvel was making within the comic books of today.
I think that one particularly got big.
It's getting big, but it's not out there for the world to see. You have certain websites are covering it, and you have certain articles coming out about it, but it's a lot like you said. A lot of the information we're not getting, we're not seeing. I mean, definitely in regards to STEM, and just black people becoming doctors nowadays, and the new research that's coming in the field of cancer research. We're not seeing that information out there on a global basis.
Yeah, like for example, a couple of months back, I saw was it the National Science Association, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but they had a $500,000 like research grant to people of color, some minorities and women. And I mean, that opportunity, I mean, you didn't really see that publicized a lot of places.
Not even with the new the cases coming to the Supreme Court in regards to Harvard University and the Asian American who's suing Harvard University, saying trying to file against the 14th Amendment about affirmative action. I mean, we heard about Abigail Fisher when the case got big and everybody was talking about it, but now there's another case coming to the Supreme Court similar to the Abigail Fisher story, and the plaintiff she's non-white. It's an Asian person of Asian descent. So it's very interesting, and that's the sole purpose of Global Diversity News, in my opinion, to give you the news that's uncovered, but the news about diversity.
Yeah, and I mean,
diversity is not all about just race.
No,
it's not about race. Not at all. It's not all about what black girl is doing this or what Hispanic is doing this in regards to becoming a doctor. Like Jamie said, it's about veterans, and veterans play a big role in our society, and they're being overlooked. Like there's a big percentage rate of homelessness when it comes to veterans.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
No, I said I completely agree. You can keep going.
There's a real estate agent. Her name is Jennifer Hammond. She has her own channel. Well, she has her own show on Sirius XM, and she had a recent conference with veterans about homelessness, and she talked about how, I believe it was in California, and the city in California has eliminated homelessness of veterans. There's no veteran who is homeless in the city in California. Not sure what city it is, but there's a lot of steps being taken to make sure veterans come home and they actually have a place to stay. Because it's like you're fighting for this country, and you come home and you have nowhere to go, or you're dealing with the issues, mental issues that aren't being talked about. So, I mean, it's news that, once again, this is news that's not being discussed, but we focus on diversity, because diversity, we have to change with the times. Yeah, America is becoming, it's slowly becoming, it's always been diverse, but it's becoming more and more diverse with the push of the Hispanic population. The population is booming. I mean, as far as not just blooming, as far as having children, but they're booming when it comes to small businesses. And we have to change with the times. If we don't, we'll be stagnant. We'll be just sitting there, just waiting to discuss something. But people have already taken steps to move upon these opportunities out there. So you have to be able to discuss these ideas and talk about the opportunities out there. And we're all about letting you know about these opportunities.
Yeah, just a couple points just to add to that. Yeah, like you said, last year, I believe, the number one, new small business creation was Hispanics, right?
Right.
So there's definitely like a need and a growing population that need more information about, how to run a business, and specifically how to run a Hispanic business. What works for people who not only look like me, but come from the areas I come from, right? What made them successful? And there's definitely, again, a need for that. Also, just to piggyback off that veteran piece, one of the things that I would really love to do is kind of go to these areas and do interviews with like that city in particular, figure out how they're doing it from their point of view. Another one, this is really short. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the interview up, but I interviewed somebody who's in the VC venture capitalist world. So basically getting funds to businesses to help them grow their companies. And he essentially told me that investment dollars for VCs are coming from three cities, right? So you got essentially Silicon Valley, then you got Boston, and then New York. So I asked him, where do you see investment dollars for minorities, in particular? And he told me, interestingly enough, well, if you're looking for what cities are investing in minorities, you want to look at Atlanta, Miami, and even to a certain part, New Orleans. So, and I mean, this is important.
Right.
If you're a minority and you're looking for capital, and you're saying that you're having a hard time getting funding opportunities from a New York or a Silicon Valley, where can you go? Like, to have a realistic opportunity. And this is information that minorities who are, creating and developing their businesses need to know. So, yeah.
One more thing. I wanted to give you I know we were talking about veterans, but I wanted to throw in some statistical information about that as well. Now, this is all factual information. It's been studied by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So I'm saying this: an estimated 49,933 veterans were homeless in January 2014. That's crazy. That's mind blowing. Like I said, people are coming home without anywhere to go. So I mean, the need for not only knowing about where to find where you can start a business at, but the need to know what's going on with our veterans is something very beneficial to society. And also it can also give you opportunities to start your own business, because you see they don't have anywhere to go. Why don't you start? You can start to get some real estate property and have opportunities to house a home for veterans. So knowing this information can get you opportunities to gain economical wealth as well too, like Jaymie said.
Yeah, man. I think this information is definitely a wealth of knowledge that isn't being, pushed right now, and should be, and it can help people in the long term in whatever you want to do, even if you're not trying to do business, but if you're trying to get into the field of or one of these particular fields of. For example, like hey, fashion, that's something that you don't really hear. Particular sets of fashion, the business side of fashion is something that you don't really hear a lot about when it comes to minorities and women. So even something like that would be, I think, a really big, cool, and it would be really important to kind of get that information out there. But yeah, so that's just. I don't know, maybe we might do this in parts, or maybe we might, continue from here, but we definitely wanted to, at the very least, do this once so people understand better what we're trying to do at Global Diversity News, and what we offer. But yeah, this is definitely our end goal. We love to reach out to, organizations and businesses and whatnot in different industries doing, positive, important things, and who want to get some type of message out about, again, what they're doing in these different industries. And we love to talk to them, or talk to you, whoever you're looking, or whoever is listening to us, and connect with you and maybe do a podcast with you as well. We've done them in the past, and we're just trying to, again, grow from that and continue along that path. So.
Exactly.
Yep. So, do you have anything else to add, Ray? I think this is pretty productive.
No, I think it was good because you were able to. I think we were able to tell them more about why we're just posting articles.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that. It's all about giving people an idea of what's out there in order to help their pockets grow, but also help them grow mentally as well.
Yep, I agree. So, that's us from Global Diversity News and kind of what we're about and what we're trying to do for the long term. If you listen to the whole podcast, we really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thanks for
please like it. Definitely like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the video. Try to support us in that way. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as always. Follow us on Twitter at GDN Network, and check out our website, globaldiversitynews.com. So, yeah, thanks for your time. Again, if you made it this far, we really appreciate it. And have a good one.
Please leave feedback how we can improve the podcast if you have any, please. Thank you.